Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Sunday weekly reading reflection. And this week we are going to be looking at the readings for the Ascension. And the Ascension is essentially when Jesus went from earth to heaven. So the resurrection is when he rose from the dead, and the Ascension is when, after he rose from the dead, he is going directly to heaven. And this is a very important feast because it is signaling the end of Easter. Easter's still happening, but the Ascension comes right before Pentecost. And Pentecost is when the Holy Spirit comes down on the apostles. And Jesus, in the first reading, in the Acts of the Apostles, which is written by the same person who wrote the Gospel of Luke, he is telling the apostles to wait for the Spirit, to remain in Jerusalem and wait for the Holy Spirit. And we're going to see next week exactly what happens when the apostles receive the Holy Spirit. And that's just going to be some really joyous experience, and we're going to go more in depth as we get to Pentecost Sunday. But before then, we can talk about the Ascension. Now, Jesus spent 3 years preparing his disciples for the mission he was calling them to do. And we see here, both in the Acts of the Apostles and in the Gospel of Mark, Jesus is preparing his apostles for the next step. And in the Gospel of Mark, Jesus says, "Go into the world and proclaim the gospel to everyone." And this is hugely important because this isn't just a call for his disciples that lived with him, spent 3 years with him, and knew him personally. This is a call to each and every one of us as baptized Christians, that we are called to go out into the world and spread the good news of the gospel. And this can seem a bit daunting. And in some ways it can be. It is. But in other ways, Jesus is also promising the apostles, and he promises us the gift of the Holy Spirit. So we receive the Holy Spirit in baptism, and then we are further called more deeply into that mission of spreading the gospel in confirmation, which I'll probably touch on more when we talk about Pentecost. But when we look at our current mission, we're called to share the love of Christ with everyone. That is the gospel message. The gospel message is that Christ came to die for us. He broke the bonds of sin and death, and because of that, we can enjoy eternal life with him. But we have to make that personal decision to be in that personal relationship with Jesus. And this is the call of sharing the gospel, that we can go out into the world and share that message with everyone else, all of our friends, families, relatives, random people we meet on the street. And it can be difficult at times, and we're going to be called out of our comfort zone. Jesus calls us out of comfort zone. He constantly called his apostles out of their comfort zone. The people he interacted, he called out of their comfort zones. Some of them were very willing to leave that comfort zone. Others were reluctant, but did anyways eventually. And others outright refused to do that. So one of our goals is to try to be the best that we can, being the people who joyfully go out of our comfort zone. I know for myself, I'm sometimes in the other ones where I'm reluctant to go out of my comfort zone, and I end up doing it anyways and realize I should have just done it. Where I should have just gone out of my comfort zone and embraced what the Lord is calling me to do. And then there's other times where I knew exactly what the Lord wanted me to do, and I still said no. And I realized afterwards how much of a mistake that was. But God still met me in those moments, and he called me out of those moments to go into deeper relationship with him. So take this Sunday of the ascension of Jesus into heaven. Take this as as a call for you to go beyond your comfort zone, to ascend above your comfort zone. Got a pun in there. I am so sorry for you. But all puns set aside, it really is about growing out of our comfort zone, because after Jesus ascended, after they received the Holy Spirit, oh boy, did they go above and beyond where they ever expected for themselves to go. And this is a call that we all receive. This is when Jesus says to go into the whole world and proclaim the gospel. He isn't just telling his disciples 2,000 years ago. He is saying these words to us, speaking them to our hearts today and every day of our lives. So let's just ask the Lord to work with us in our lives so that we can live out his call to spread the gospel to everyone in the world. But just take that one step at a time, one person at a time, because no one converted the whole world at the same time. It's always one person at a time. So don't try to see that you have to go share with every single person in your life all at the same time. Maybe find one of your best friends or a family member and share how Jesus has changed your life today with them. So until we meet each other again, I want to wish you all a really great week. Enjoy the sun and keep safe and keep praying for me. I am praying for you. Until next week, God bless. Bye.